Before we get into the information, everybody, I just wanted to share a portion of this video that I'm actually going to link for you. It's called The Way of All Flesh, and it's a piece on Henrietta Lacks. And this is related to the information that we're dealing with in this video. But it's going to be a little out of context for you, but there's some things that I want you to hear from this, and then like I said, you can go and watch the whole thing on your own. It's just under an hour, and I'm not going to play the whole thing because we just don't really need it, but I do want you to see the whole thing, so I hope you will go and watch it. But hear this now.
But then other evidence emerged that seemed to prove there really might be a cancer virus. Henrietta Lacks was no longer alone in the cell world. Suddenly it seemed very easy to grow cells outside the body. Some were cancerous, others were normal.
Now, once they got a hold of her cells and saw that her cells were reproducing and all that, they thought, well, maybe we can go back and do other cells. So here is a heart cell that is beating like it's a cell. Or, you know, I guess it's going to be a... but anyways, it's from the heart, and you can see that it's beating.
This is a heart cell growing inside a petri dish. Each cell is beating with the same rhythm as the heart from which it came.
Out of this original push, attempts now proliferated everywhere to grow human cells, and many of them were successful. By God, they had cells from lung, and they had cells suddenly growing and rapidly from a variety, a whole spectrum of human tissues.
I had prostate surgery, and since the prostate grows so well in the body, I thought, well, it should be able to grow pretty well in our laboratory. So I made arrangements.
I'm fearful that you're not hearing the audio. I can't get any more volume out of this. Wait, I can. My bad. Alright, let's take it back a skosh. But still turn up your volume because there's not really good audio on this particular video. Alright, I'll give you a second to do that, and then I will continue. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This original push, attempts now proliferated everywhere to grow human cells, and many of them were successful. By God, they had cells from lung, and they had cells suddenly growing and rapidly from a variety, a whole spectrum of human tissues.
I had prostate surgery, and since the prostate grows so well in the body, I thought, well, it should be able to grow pretty well in our laboratory. So I made arrangements.
Hear that? I had prostate surgery, and since the prostate grows so well in the body, I figured it could grow in the laboratory. Here, this is going to become important in a minute.
Arrangements to have the surgeon cut off a piece of the prostate that was removed, mince it up with scissors, very fine, sharp scissors, in a sterile glass vessel.
So he arranged for the surgeon to cut off part of the prostate. I guess that when he said he had prostate surgery, I don't know if they took the entire prostate. I guess they did, because you don't just have surgery on your prostate, they take it, especially at this time that this was going on. Now they have all sorts of brachytherapy and all kinds of things, and they have nuclear stuff, but this is when they take it, you know. Anyway, let's go on. So he had him take a piece of it for the lab. I guess he's going to try and grow him another prostate to put back in. I'm over it.
The finer you mince, the better you have, the better chance you have of getting a better yield of cells.
In the hunt to start new cell lines, other cell biologists turned to their own families.
Now, in an effort to create other cell lines, some researchers even turned to their own family lines. Hear this now. This is nobody else on earth is doing this. Nobody else. Only them are obsessed. You see, God has already told you you have a fixed time on earth. That's it. Don't know what you're going to do. You see, but they got to play God. They have to. They have to. Hear this.
I decided that I would try to establish a cell line from the amnion at the birth of one of my children. And on the day of my daughter's birth, I appeared with my wife and the collecting materials, which I gave to the nurse. And the material was duly collected. I took it back to the laboratory after assuring myself that my wife and new daughter were healthy. And within a few hours, I could look through the microscope and see the cells from my daughter's amnion.
Then the strangest thing began to happen. Many of the normal cell lines suddenly developed cancer. Normal cells lying open in the laboratory would abruptly transform into malignant cancer cells. It became known as spontaneous transformation.
I observed in the culture an island of cells that looked different from the normal cell population. Because of my experience with cells by that time, I knew that this was what we then called a spontaneous transformation. That is, the spontaneous acquisition of cancer cell properties by a normal cell in culture.
Could it be a virus? Do we have ways of detecting for a virus? Could there have been a virus in there that caused this transformation? Let's do it again. Let's put another bit of this cell into culture. And it might happen again. And maybe it did happen again.
Was your wife a bit shocked? Not at all. Why should she be?
Well, there you are, growing her daughter's cells in culture, and suddenly they transform into cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. He says, was your wife shocked? He goes, no, she wasn't. Why should she be? He goes, because you took your daughter's cells and they're turning into cancer cells. Hear this now.
Yes. Why should I be shocked, or she should be shocked with that?
There was now a growing belief that inside malignant cell lines like Henrietta Lacks's was a cancer virus. If it could be found and isolated, cancer would be conquered. But it was going to take a great deal of money.
Okay, wait. I want to move us forward. 21, 49. Well, yeah. 21. No. Right here. Hear this.
And let's make this world a world that's cancer-free.
But at the very moment when the stars were promising the end of cancer, the cell biologists realized there was something seriously wrong with their science. And the reason was Henrietta Lacks and her cells. It began when a scientist called Stanley Gartler examined many of the major cell lines. He discovered that all of them secreted the same form of enzyme. It was a type found only in black people.
Alhamdulillah. Listen, do you hear that? There's an enzyme that comes off of our cells that's only from our shit, everybody. We are not the same as these damn people. Our biology says it. It's what I tell you all the time. Your melanated skin is not just decoration. God is signaling to you that you are a different human being. You are different. You are different. You are different. And here you have, we're going to take it back just a skosh so you can hear that again. Because now they had these other cell lines, they thought they were just going to be able to go on. But no, it all returns back to our sister.
It began when a scientist called Stanley Gartler examined many of the major cell lines. He discovered that all of them secreted the same form of enzyme. It was a type found only in black people. The problem was that all the cell lines he looked at came from whites. The only black cell...
Now, the problem is that all the cells that he was looking at came from whites. So it's like, how is this enzyme of black people in there? We're getting someplace. Let's go on. I'll take it back just a skosh.
He discovered that all of them secreted the same form of enzyme. It was a type found only in black people. The problem was that all the cell lines he looked at came from whites. The only black cell line was Henrietta Lacks. At a packed meeting of cell biologists, Gartler announced the inescapable conclusion.
He told them, folks, cell lines that are presumably derived from other tissues in different individuals are not such. These are cells from Henrietta Lacks. If you think you have been working with breast cells, you're wrong. If you think you've been working with lung cells, you're wrong. And kidney cells, you're wrong. You're working with cells derived from a human female uterus. And that's that. And it was very embarrassing, and it was very shocking to many people, and there was a great alarum.
I couldn't believe it. He was saying that this enzyme is present only among blacks. So, ergo, this tissue did not come from you. You're white. It must have come from black. If it came from black, it probably came from Gila. So you mixed your cells with Gila. Whether it's
Gila is what they're calling the Henrietta Lacks, because they cloaked it so nobody would know it was her. You see, so they had that name for it. And so remember, this was the prostate dude, and like, yeah, your shit ain't is black enzymes up in your stuff, like.
So, ergo, this tissue did not come from you. You're white. It must have come from black. If it came from black, it probably came from Gila. So you mixed your cells with Gila. Whether it's, I say he's wrong, I say he's wrong.
I want to stop and say this. This is one of the reasons why whoever your doctor is, or wherever you go, whatever, even if you just have a headache, anytime your doctor is prescribing something for you or something like that, especially if you, if you've had anything where you have to have an internal medicine doctor or something like that, you want to ask them, because you got to be your own advocate with your health care. You want to ask them, do you understand that I'm different? And whatever you're prescribing me or however you're treating me, are you treating me as an African? Or are you trying to treat me as white people? You need to make that distinction. And if they look at you crazy because they don't know it, that's a problem and you need a different doctor. I'm over it. Run fast and far.
Mixed your cells with Gila. Whether it's, I say he's wrong, I say he's wrong.
Many of the cell biologists refused to believe Gartler. But for those who had developed cell lines from their own flesh and blood, the only other explanation was even worse.
What Gartler was saying about my daughter's cells was that they had enzyme characteristics of a black parent, which is the reason I ran to the telephone to speak with my wife.
Think about that. He's trying to do voodoo with his daughter's cells, finds out, uh-oh, it's got some African folks up in it, and he runs to the phone to call his wife. I had to bring that to you. We'll just see a little bit more.
And she assured me that I had nothing to worry about.
He was thinking she had been with a black man. You see what I'm saying? And she assured me I had nothing to worry about. The fact of the matter is Henrietta Lacks, even though she died of cancer, her cells are the only cells on Earth that are reproducing the way that those cells produce. They like keep reproducing themselves. So that's a living thing. They put their shit in a petri dish and they can't get it to sustain itself. It dies off. You put her cells with theirs, it kills it makes theirs turns to cancer.
I'm not black and neither is my wife.
Leonard Hayflick never believed what he was hearing. In his particular case, because it involved his own blood, his own cells. It involved, really, to get down to a cellular level, it involved his own sperm and that of the egg of his wife.
To me, it had absolutely no importance whatsoever, other than my intellectual curiosity.
Bogus. It was a scandal.
See, he sat there and said, it was of no concern to me. It was nothing. And then this dude goes, that's bogus. It was a scandal. Hell yeah. Because the moment he have to think about a mandingo penis up on his wife, that means he gonna feel a certain kind of way the rest of his entire existence. Let us be clear about this.
To put it mildly, something terribly, terribly wrong.
The problem was that no one fully understood how Henrietta Lacks's cells had contaminated the other cell lines. There was something wrong in cell biology, but no one knew how big or quite what the problem was.
And we'll leave it there. But you can go ahead and watch this entire video. I'm linking it in the description box down below. I suggest you go and watch it. Go and watch it. Go and watch it. Make your kids watch it. Damn it. I'm over it. Alright, let's go into the video. What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. I first want to once again thank everyone who donated to the GoFundMe to reach the goal. I didn't even sleep well last night because I was so grateful and honored and I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Another random note that I want to say too before I get into the information is because when I was watching the playback of the live stream from yesterday, just like when we're on the live stream and then the various people's names and stuff, I want to say, you guys, think about your names that you put up on, that you use as your, your online identification name or whatever I'm trying to say. Because some of them I'm like, that can't mean anything at all. It doesn't say anything. And I'm sure with some of our women, they come up with something that's just cute or something like that, I would really encourage you to come up with something that has meaning to you. You see, this is the way of our people as Africans. Everything has a meaning. There's a meaning in everything. You see? And so that when it's not, then it's straying from your authenticity, really. Your true essence, so to speak. As I've said to you, I call myself the Jedi because it connotes the last one. I've given you the analogy that, in the Star Wars movies, Luke Skywalker is the last of the Jedi. He's the one that is fearless and passionate and determined and dedicated to kill off the evil empire and save the Alliance. All the other Jedi have gone before him, and he is the last hope. And that's what that name means for me, because I do feel so connected to the ancestors that have come before me, and because I don't hear a lot of voices like mine, quite frankly. I feel like I'm the last voice, the last hope for our people. I'm willing to concede one of, but I don't know the others. So I can only speak for me. So in my world, I'm the last one willing to fight and die for the cause of our people, the liberation and the freedom of our people, giving it all up. And that's why I call myself the Jedi. I want to shout out Coyote Prophet, speaking of names. And Coyote, I did get your other message that you sent with a recant on that Time article, but that's fine because it's still relevant. It's still relevant. It's still relevant, and you're going to see that in this video. We're going to try and keep this short, everybody. And if you're seeing this video now, then you need to be looking around for me on Skype right now, because after this video is uploaded, I'm going to be on Skype, and I'm specifically looking to speak with Khalifa of the Most High and Kai Love, most importantly. And then, but of course, anybody else that wants to try and reach out to me on Skype, you can do that, and that's what we're going to do. Now, the changing face of America. I need to tell you that the one that I wanted to bring you guys was this one, but because they tripping, it's National Geographic. I'm not paying for us for. Listen, they need to know this is a fail. People are not going to pay for articles and stuff online. They're just not going to do it. There's too much information that's free. There's a few magazines that do that, and newspapers and stuff. God bless them, but nobody's going to pay that. Who's going to pay for that? But we don't need it anyway, because you see, and I don't know if you can really see it, but it says, under the heading, it says, The Changing Face of America. And it says, we become a country where race is no longer so black or white. Why did they only have to say black or white? That's what I've been trying to get across to you. That's the main theme here. That's the ongoing thing. That's why I'm even addressing this, and why I'm so obsessed with this topic, because there is a diabolical evil being amassed against us, and we need to understand what it is. And we need to understand that we need to be in a state of vigilance, to be very vigilant over our very race. That means you can't have no infiltrators. You understand what I'm saying? We must preserve our race in this bitch. We must. We must. We must, because they're not focused on nobody else. They don't care about that. We're the darkest people. We're the target. We're the target. And we've already talked about how that relates to organ trafficking and all the other crap. You see? So we'll begin with this one, and then I have another one, and then we'll be out. I don't think I need that caption. Springfield, a community in the state of Virginia, is about 24 kilometers down the road from the U.S. Capitol building. There you'll find what could be the face of the next generation in America. In a word, this is the face of diversity, the face of many races and ethnic backgrounds. I need to let you know that this article is from July of 2015. But date is not going to matter in this, everybody. And if it does, it's only to show how long this shit has been going on. They're focused on this. They're focused on this. And this is one of the reasons why you saw them vote for Trump even. We could even make that correlation. They want that Make America Great Again. Listen, white bitch, you're never going to be great again. You think that having Trump is somehow going to make your numbers. You're not. You are dying off, thank God. Thank God. You're dying off. And everybody else is overpopulating you. Overpopulating you. So get ready. 30 languages are spoken at Crestwood Elementary School in Springfield, Virginia. By the way, random, but I did my training for Xerox in Springfield, Virginia. Understand that. Your boy was the regional specialist for Xerox. Thank you very much. All right. With about 660 students from kindergarten to 6th grade, many are recent immigrants who came with their families looking for a new life in America. They came from Afghanistan and Korea, Vietnam and El Salvador, Ethiopia and Indonesia. At home, they still speak the 30 languages of the countries from which they came. Growth of minorities across the U.S. How is it that those may be the faces? How is it that those may be the faces of the next American generation? 4 states, California, Hawaii, New Mexico, Texas, and D.C. in this bitch now have minority-majority populations. That means that there are more minority people than white devil. Minorities are people who identify themselves as black, Native American, Asian, and Hispanic. I'm going to stop and say this, because while we're reading this, we're being identified as a minority, and we have to reject that. We're not the minority. We're not. Listen, if Africa is the largest continent, let's say, then just because it's not here doesn't make it still not the largest continent. Are you understanding me? I'll give you another analogy. So that if one family, the Jacksons, now we'll use Celine Dion because they got like 50,000 people in their family. Alright, let's say Celine Dion has this huge family and she lives in Montreal, Quebec, and there's, I don't know, well, there's 9 siblings in my family. Now, her family is still bigger than mine no matter if she's here or if she's over there. We are not a minority, everybody. I've said this, but not in this way. But I've said before, we need to stop referring to ourselves as a minority, because we are not. And again, how you think and speak about anything is how you relate to that. We are not a fucking minority. There are more African people on this planet than every fucking body else. Period. Period. And they know that. And so this is why there's this push now to start creating a different race, particularly for this asshole of Satan. Alright? So it really should read that those 4 states now represent majority populations. That mean there are more, that the white devil is the minority, as he always has been, etc. Within the next generation, Africans will be the majority across the United States. We're just going to say that non-whites are the majority. Again, I don't know how to read this because it's a contradiction of what is known. They are not the majority. They're not. They're not. They're not. That's why they keep holding on to the Middle America. Middle America. Middle America. There's 5 people in Middle America. Shit. And like Oprah said in an interview some time back, that some old white people just need to die. They just need to die. Because they're so, what was her wording? They're so, I can't think of her word, but they're so marinated, I think that's what she said, marinated in their hate and racism and all the bullshit. They just need to die. I celebrated when I knew that, because that's exactly what I think. We'll just read it as it is, because I'm over it. Within the next generation, the majority will be recognized as the majority across the United States. This is according to new information released by the U.S. Census Bureau. Again, we don't own the Census Bureau. It's owned by white devils. They're the ones doing the counting, so they're the ones doing the lying. If they're breathing, they're lying. If there's a pulse, they're lying. And certainly on matters like this. You think they're going to come out and admit that they're no longer the majority? Think they're going to say that? Nah. Released by the Census Bureau, it may happen sooner than had been expected. The U.S. will become very different than the one current people have seen in their lifetimes, says William Frey of the Brookings Institute. He is a demographer and author of Diversity Explosion. He says there will be many people of color in the United States. Hispanics, Asians, African Americans. You know, it's interesting how they started with Hispanics and Asians. You understand? You always go from strongest to weakest. So, again, even in the placing of this, you see, it tells me something about the writer and how they think about me. You see, again, always seeing what's in front of you. It should absolutely say African Americans, because before that, the sentence before it in the previous paragraph said, quote, he says there will be many people of color in the United States. So next paragraph should start African Americans, Hispanic, and then Asians. But no, Hispanics, Asians, African Americans. I'm over it. And it's that part of the population. And it's that part of the population is going, I think they meant that is going to grow rapidly, especially among people in the younger ages. And that's really important because this growth of minorities is happening just in time to counter the very slow growth of rapid aging of the white devil population. Yes. The average age of white people in this bitch is now 43. There are more deaths than births amongst white fucking people. Glory be to Allah the Most High. Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. We love this, everybody. We love this. This we love. This we love. All right. According to the census data from 2014. All right. In just the last decade, the population has become more racially and ethnically diverse. You see, that's what I'm saying. They know this. They know this, and they're obsessed on this. This is why they are now pushing out. This is why you're having every fucking television show is interfucking racial. This is why you have every damn commercial, no matter what the fuck they're advertising, it's something interracial, and it's always black and white. Because while they started up here with Hispanic, Asian, African American, bitch, the only one you're focused on is this. We're the only ones that you think can save your fucking race. That by washing us out, they can still be them and maybe gain something from us. It's diabolical, everybody. It's diabolical, but it also testifies once again to the title that we assign to them as the devil, because nobody else does this. And the only entity on earth trying to imitate and be God and out-trick him and out everything, even God, is a devil. Do you understand me? You need to let that resonate with you. This is not hyperbole. This is not drama. This is what is real. First of all, why do you even need a fucking census bureau? Why do you need that? You see? Think about that. When you think of a world where Allah has placed you on the earth to live, to submit to Him, do you think the zebras know how many other zebras there are on the earth? Do you think they know? Do you think they even care? You see, this plays into classism, racism, and all the other bullshit that they have constructed upon the earth, along with their damn census bullshit. It's just another chapter of it. In just the last decade, the population has become more racially and ethnically diverse. The Census Bureau said that the percentage of majority people climbed from 32.9% in 2004 to 37.9% in 2014. I want to stop and say this. You need to know that also there is a raging epidemic of AIDS amongst African people going on in Florida, Atlanta, Florida, Atlanta, it's two other places. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is they've got people thinking that this is over. That it's over. But it's important to this story because when you think about numbers, they're quietly killing us off still with fucking AIDS. Still right now. That shit is not over, everybody. And it always killed me when I see, you know, this baby mama, baby father shit, because by default that means that these people are having unprotected sex. Oh, that's my baby mama. That's my baby mama. I got 3 baby mama. That means you just fucking having sex with not fucking protection. And you need to understand that HIV AIDS is not a fucking gay disease, my people. It's not. It's not. And it's not even it's not even defined by the CDC as a venereal disease. This is shit they can put in your damn food. Do you understand me? They're obsessed with remaining the it. Nobody else on the earth is doing that shit. Only them. Nobody else cares. Millennials are more racially diverse, you see, because they are promoting that shit. Even when Obama was running, you heard him say, you know, these young kids, they don't care about any of that stuff. They don't care about, you know, racism and all that stuff. They don't care about that. They don't care if somebody's gay. They don't care, you know. That was 2008. But that shit wasn't just 2008. That's been going on. This is a concerted plan. You must remember that white devils have even think tanks across this bitch. Watch MSNBC. Watch Fox News. Watch CNN. Instead of just watching the people sitting there talking, when they start talking, they put their shit underneath them, who they are and what they do. And you see just some random ass title. You'd be like, how is that a coin? How is that a coin? What do you do? What do you do? Because a lot of that shit is they don't do shit. They're just getting money, and all they do is shape this fucking society. And among those things is stuff like this. How do we target millennials so that they'll date white people, so that we can bring down the black population and still be able to preserve the white population? Then you probably got some scientists off someplace doing some shit so that interracial baby comes out looking more like a white devil than an African. We put no evil past this devil. None. If you can conjure it, they will do it. And have done it. Millennials are more racially diverse. I'm over it. With the declining white devil population, Mr. Frey says that the growth of the young minority population, which we over that minority bullshit, is important to keep the U.S. economy strong. See? And they're thinking about this in terms of numbers, not only for their ass, but money. Because that is their God. You understand? Because there's nothing connected to the Most High about these damn people. Not even their very creation. I don't believe it until my Maker tells me on the Day of Judgment, yes, my servant, I did create this white devil. Then and only then will I repent. I just don't believe God created these people. I don't believe that. I don't. And I don't have an answer for where they came from. I don't. They're going to help make that labor force much more robust, much more vibrant in lots of ways. Well, this is not attached to reality, because we know that jobs have been on a steady decline here in this fucking country, especially with outsourcing and just you don't need to be at a job anymore. You know, a lot of people work from home, and a lot of stuff is in the digital sector. So this sentence here suggests that there's going to be some boom of some kind. You know, like, no. Robust workforce. Where are they going to be? At McDonald's? I can't. The Census Bureau reports also shows that millennials, people born between 1992 and 2000, is now the largest group of Americans. There are now 83.1 million millennials compared to 75.4 million baby boomers, the older generation. Mr. Frey says millennials are more racially diverse than the older baby boomers. 40% of millennials are racial minorities. See, they keep using this minority bullshit. Do you see what a contradiction it is? But that word just keeps boom, 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 just keeps hammering it like a drum in the back of your mind. And that gets in and it infects your thinking. You understand what I'm saying? It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. Dangerous. He says that they are a bridge to the next and even more diverse, to the next and even more diverse generation. Even more diverse, it says, huh? Listen, this is how we kill their ass off. You don't fucking date them, and you definitely don't fucking have sex with their ass. Shit. Let them continue to die off in the name of peace for the rest of humanity. Humanity needs that. Humanity needs that. Humanity needs that. Because all we have seen with their existence on earth is evil. So the millennials are playing a very important role in the United States because I guess introducing people to a new America that they are going to have to look at in the next several decades. He says as a group, millennials are more connected by technology and social media to the rest of the world. And Mr. Frey says they are more open to diversity. Well, they're not. But when you hammer fucking commercials, damn, my voice is going. When you hammer fucking commercials all damn day, and you're promoting it, and I don't even watch children's programming, so I don't even know what evil is being done there. Maybe I need to start watching children's programming for at least a week just for research. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I think I need to do that. I think I need to do that. I'm gonna have to watch some fucking Nickelodeon and Disney. I'm over it. Where am I? Lost my place. So they're on social media and blah blah blah, and so they're more open to diversity. They do share an appreciation for an openness for racial diversity. They're open to people of other backgrounds, of other nationalities, different lifestyles. No, they're not. They're not. You may have. This is not as it's not to the degree they're trying to proclaim. You understand? It's just fucking not. Because by their model, the fucker that shot Philando Castile would have been a fucking baby boomer. Do you understand me? I mean, a millennial. I'm sorry. The fucker that, because they said millennials were born when? 82. So the fucker that killed Philando Castile would have been a fucking millennial. Darren Wilson's bitch ass would have been a millennial. I could keep going. So don't give me this, they're just all understanding and they're just over it. And millennials are just, they're not the evil white devil. If they are white, they are the devil. And therefore their parents, they had to come out of parents. So you don't just have these millennials just walking around, they don't have fucking evil ass white parents. Do you understand the argument that I'm making? Like, give me a break. It's not based in reality. This is why I tell you, you have to analyze the shit that you read, everybody. You damn it. Every their backgrounds, they are open to people with backgrounds and other nationalities. The millennials, with their diversity and open views, have already had an effect on society. The television show Fresh Off the Boat about an Asian immigrant family is popular, and same-sex marriage is more accepted by this younger generation than the older one. Okay, well, you just... that doesn't equal diversity to me. Asians coming here, they've been here. And, by the way, they had them in fucking concentration camps in this bitch, too. Let us understand that. So that, strike that. Same-sex marriage, that's not a race of people. That's not a culture of people who have a land and a culture and a language and shit. So strike fucking same-sex marriage, people. This means nothing, everybody. So I can't. That doesn't fall under fucking diversity. You see, that doesn't fall under diversity. It just doesn't. Damn it. Because then we just have to start adding people that eat broccoli. You see what I'm saying? Ooh, that's a diverse group. People that eat broccoli and cauliflower. That's a diverse group. That's another diverse group. We have to recognize that. We just have to. It's a diverse group. No doubt, the 2016 presidential candidates are working to win the diversity vote as well. Several Republican candidates, so we don't need that. Mr. Frey says he is glad to see the new wave of immigrants moving into and all around the U.S. cities and towns. I'm very optimistic and I'm over it. And that's probably a lie. Alright, this other one now. Biracial woman pushed to undergo genetic screening. Cobble Hill Hospital focuses on mixed race. This is from 2013. Alright. Again, we're not going to be concerned about dates on stuff. Alright. Doctors are pushing biracial Brooklyn women to undergo genetic counseling to learn if their racial mix makes them more prone to disease. Understand that. And as interracial families have become more common, Dr. Somebody, Chief of Obstetrics and Gynecology at Downstate Long Island College Hospital, have urged her staff of about 40 physicians to quiz patients about their ethnic backgrounds. You see? So, I promise you, everybody, and this is the Daily News, they just want to make it seem like she did that on her own. I promise you there was some people there in suits, and there was a call, and the CDC was involved, and some other, scientific entities, and they have said this. You see, but this opens up another window, because when I talk about being vigilant, our women need to understand this. So you need to be suspect of questions that your gynecologist might be asking you when you're in there in the damn stirrups and all of it. You see, we're dealing with a crafty serpentous devil, everybody, and we must be aware of that. Has urged her staff of 40 physicians to quiz patients about their ethnic backgrounds. This also proves we're not the same, because this wouldn't exist if we're all the same, right? That means everything that's known is what is empirical data. So the moment you start having to quiz people on who they are, that means we're not the same. Those from multicultural backgrounds are sent to, again, no proofreading, are sent, I can't. Those from multiracial backgrounds are sent to talk with a DNA expert who maps out how their heritage could make them sick. Think about that. That means something is defect. You see? And we know it's not us. We're built for every climate. Period. It always makes me sick when black folks talk about, it's too hot. It's too hot. Your ass, we are the people of the sun. It's not too damn hot. Your brain is jacked up. Want to map out how their heritage makes them could make them sick. Think about that. Ethnicity plays a big part in your health care, said this person, naming a slew of hereditary diseases such as sickle cell anemia, which plagues the black community, and Tay-Sachs disease found in many Jewish families. Well, listen. First of all, there's two things wrong with that. A, sickle cell is something that was given to our people. We need only to look to our brothers and sisters in Africa and see, was there this major outbreak of sickle cell? Oh my God, and I can't. And it wasn't. It was only in this bitch, which means it comes from this devil. Period. And the fact that this is not our environment. But we can survive in this climate. But the big thing, the coup de grace, is the diet, the food that we eat. That's not our food. That is not our food. That's not. We don't have the same diet as a devil. We don't. And every other culture on the planet has their own food, including us. This is the only place where we're eating food that is not our natural food, our cultural food that we would normally eat. Period. Just like it's only here is the only place where Christianity dominates our people. Most African melanated people across this earth are Muslims. We're not talking about the Nation of Islam people. See what I'm saying? But even they're not, at least they're not technically Christians, but I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to get into it. It's only here that dominates our people. 86% of our people in this bitch are Christian. That is from this enemy. And we also reject that it says and Tay-Sachs disease found in many Jewish families. There's no Jewish gene, everybody. There's no Jewish gene. That is just another cluster of white people. Period. There's no Jewish gene. There's no Jewish gene. You can't dig somebody up and go, oh, they were Jewish. Look, well, they were Jewish. You can't. There's no Jewish gene. So that's just, that Tay-Sachs disease is just white people. Period. The end. We can't worry about sensitivity when it comes to race. We can't worry about sensitivity when it comes to race. What you see isn't always what you get. If we don't ask the right questions, we'll come up short. Well, I agree with that. You see what I'm saying? When people, I think they're insinuating, like, when you ask somebody, well, what are you? Like, I need to know what you are. I do. So I know how to relate to you. I just do. I just do. If I go into a pool, I need to know if it's warm or hot. Or warm or cold, damn it. Census stats show that 2% of King County identified as being two or more races in 2010, with the largest concentration in upper middle class enclaves like Park Slope and Prospect Heights. Popular combinations include having at least one parent who is either European white devil, black, or Chinese, meaning the person could inherit a long list of illnesses. You see? But they trying to group us in with the illness thing. Take us out of it. I would even take the Chinese out of it, because they are not a sick nation. Do you understand? And outside the stuff that this white devil has reaped on our mother continent with the AIDS and the Ebola, we are not a sickly people. So this sentence only applies to their ass. Period. So we read it as popular combinations include having at least one parent who is either white, which means your ass could inherit a whole long list of shit. This doctor and her staff map out patients' family health histories as well as study their blood trolling for more risk factors. Because again, we're not the same. Louis Dogan, 41, born to an East European Jewish mom, just a white bitch, and an African dad, worked with doctors tracing her Jewish relatives' ailment after her mother, aunt, and cousin were diagnosed with breast and ovarian cancers. Listen, I always defer to my grandmother and my aunt, everybody. And y'all can too. This ain't unique to me. If it wasn't happening when they was coming on, damn it's some bullshit. It just is. You see? Because you must remember that we African people were on Earth for at least 175,000 years before, and that's a conservative number. At least 175,000 years before any fucking white devil showed up anywhere on the damn planet. And we were not plagued with all these things. And you must remember that a lot of this stuff is environmental. You understand? So even all this breast cancer stuff is outrageous. It's outrageous, and they want you to think it's just something people are getting. The fact is, we're in an information age and we're in a digital age, and with that comes Wi-Fi. You need to get rid of Wi-Fi if you have Wi-Fi in your home, because those signals are going through your fucking tissue. That is not natural. Do you understand me? And these are the things that augment cells in your body and cause cancer. Period. I'm even leery of my wireless keyboard and my mouse, but I don't have no damn Wi-Fi. And I don't even like the strength on those, because I've noticed, like, sometimes if I'm on the bed, even if my mouse is under my covers and I move it, I see my cursor move on the screen. I don't even have to be in the same room and I can move it. You understand? So that's a powerful signal. And just because you can't see it doesn't mean there's not a consequence. So be very, very wary And also, while I'm at it, put down this idea that certain diseases are hereditary. There's no such thing. You understand? I believe that your parents, now, well, strike that. I believe that your parents, you are your parents' child. So, everything they do, you doing. Everywhere they're at, you're at. So if they're being exposed to some shit, you're being exposed to it. So everybody's getting this environmental exposure that's causing disease and things like that, and they go, oh, it's hereditary. You know, oh, your mom died of breast cancer, you could also have breast cancer too. So as if it's it's just hereditary. No, it's not. It's you were both put in the same environment. You see, it's not like it's I hope you understand what I'm just said to you. We have to find out if she has the BRCA gene and the implications on the child. You need to know your background. You can't have biases based on what you look like. Interracial couples and their ethnically ambiguous offspring are common sights throughout the borough. European, just white fucking people are prone to about 24 afflictions, including cystic fibrosis, which can lead to fatal lung and intestinal disease, and is also common in white. We're not going to make no distinction between Jews and non-Jews. Like I said, there's no Jewish gene. They're just another white person, period. Sickle cell, thalassemia, and the other blood disorders impact those with African and Asian roots. In the future, we're going to have many people with so many different ethnicities, said somebody who is white and Chinese. All right. When you are more than one race, you have more of a diverse genetic composition. We are talking to people before they have a baby. The more time we have, the better. I wanted to bring this because I'm trying to show you how deep the diabolical agenda is going. You understand? Look at this sister. Why is she with that? You feel me? Like, she's not an ugly woman. And even though she's pregnant, you can see she still, you can tell she got a nice shape. She has beautiful skin. It wasn't no brother that you didn't see. I can't. Mixed or not, why are we taking pictures of race? Now, this is also from 2014, April of 2014. Just days ago, Policy Mike put up a piece entitled National Geographic Concludes What Americans Will Look Like in 2050. And it's beautiful. You see? But it was only beautiful because it's going to look like their white ass. Because we don't have to know who Policy Mike is to know that it's not us. You feel me? In it, writer Zach Cheney Rice, clearly not us, attempts to address the so-called rise of multicultural peoples, which has captured, enchanted the public eye, and with which the media has become deeply enamored. Because who is the media? White devil. You see? And whose public eye are we talking about? He spotlights a retrospective and admiring look at National Geographic's The Changing Face of America project of last year, featuring a series of multiracial portraits by well-known German photographer Martin Scholler, and also peripherally cites some statistics graphs that demonstrate the explosion of the mixed race population. There it is, everybody. There it is. There it is. And just the fact that the wording there demonstrates the explosion of the mixed race population. That right there is dangerous, and that's the shit that is what I'm talking about. When I've said to you, you're going to be seeing on the cover of Time and Newsweek's magazine, it's going to say the new race, and they're going to start putting that shit on documents, and it will be a different race. Just like they're trying to make gay people a race of people. Fuck you, you are not a race. No shade, but that's not a race. That's an act of what you do. Period. I'm over it. Look at this bullshit. See? See? You think anybody that looks like that is going to be a fucking warrior? You think so? You think anybody like that is going to be interested in liberation and revolution? And conscious of this enemy? And live for his destruction? I'm over it. In a matter of years, Cheney writes, we'll have tendered occupid, I don't know this word. Okay, Cupid Ed. I don't know. Fuck, this is a white word from hell. And otherwise sexed ourselves into one giant amalgamated mega race. See? That's what I'm saying. These fucking people out there with this mixed shit and dating fucking white people. Again, everybody, we gotta close ranks. We have to close ranks. Listen, if you on a fucking island and it's one damn chicken and it's 50 people and you stranded on that island, you start triaging who's getting chicken. Okay, first let's bring in the children and the women. Let's let them eat. Alright. Now, it's the men. Well, we have to start going by age. Alright, let's bring in the elderly men first, maybe. No, never mind. The elderly men can eat last because their ass is about to die anyway. You see what I'm saying? You start coming up with formulas and shit like, fuck you, because we have to survive. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So we can't see it. And fuck these people when they try and give you language to speak. Well, it's racist to say that, and fuck you, bitch. You are not us. This is about self-survival. Sat your ass the fuck down. You feel me? Listen, everybody, we have to be vigilant. And when you see somebody even giving an eye to somebody white, like one of the brothers was asking on the live stream yesterday, Jedi, am I, is there something wrong with me that I'm in love with white women? We have to get to that brother and do intense work. You feel me? Because no, hell no. And I ain't even, damn it, and I'm gonna say this because I know that sometimes those things can be atmospheric and situational, based on where you live and things like that. But fine, if you want to smash a white heifer, but don't be falling in love, and and absolutely you don't produce no damn child. That's out. We got to preserve ourselves, everybody, because they're still killing us off with AIDS and God knows what else. And they are trying to wipe us out now with this bullshit, while making you think that it's something to be celebrating and, ooh, this will mean that there'll be no more racism. Fuck you. You're dealing with the devil. I need you to understand that. You need you to understand that. Despite admitting racial inequity persists, oh, I'm going to love this. Despite admitting racial inequity persists, he still flirts with the idea of an, quote, end approaching, presumably to race, and by association, racism. In other words, when we get rid of these niggers, then there won't be any racism. No, but you'll still be the devil, so as long as you exist, there's going to be problems. You see what I'm saying? That was very bold for them to go there. Despite admitting racial inequity, in other words, we know that it don't mean shit, because these so-called minorities, which they are not, but these so-called minorities we treat them like bullshit, but if we just rinse them out, then there'll be no more problems. That pretty much states the agenda right there, in a light, watered down way. You see, I'll just read it and go on. Despite admitting racial inequity persists, comma, he still flirts. Interesting choice. He still flirts. Not he proclaims that an end. He flirts with the idea like it's a fantasy, you see. He still flirts with the idea of an, quote, end quote, approaching, parentheses, presumably to race and by association racism, comma. The structure of that is very illuminating, everybody. It's very, remember, I was telling you, there's an editor, a writer, and a publisher. That shit didn't just get there by accident. Understand that. And suggests, while we're waiting for things to get better, we might applaud these growing rates of intermixing for what they are. See? While we're waiting for things to get better, we'll run our television shows with all things black and white, interracial bullshit. We'll run our commercials. Every fucking corporation in this bitch that advertises on American television will have an interracial commercial, so saith the fucking God of the evil people. That's what that sentence says to me. That's what my ears hear. And suggests, while we're waiting for these niggers to finally just be washed out and over with, we might applaud these growing rates of intermixing for what they are. An encouraging symbol of a rapidly changing America. 2050 remains decades away, but if those images are any preview, it's definitely a year worth waiting for. See that? The enthusiasm there. It's definitely a year worth waiting for. Like they're waiting on a big bonanza, you see? A windfall. You feel me? Man. I say to mi gente in Spanish, I say to my ummah in Arabic, and I say to my damn people in English, stay with your own. Stay with your own. Don't give them an opportunity to have a seed come through our fucking people. Period. 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 Because this is not to celebrate humanity. This is an evil agenda. And as I say, we always look to nature and creation for answers. Creation is not decoration, everybody. The most beautiful flower is not decoration. It is to teach you something. Your maker is telling you something. You see? If I put you in a room and said, you're going to go on a scavenger hunt and there's clues in there, everything you came across, you'd be looking at it trying to see what the clue is on that. Well, you're in a fucking clue. You're in a scavenger hunt right now, but it's not confusing. You see? Allah has placed everything in creation for your information and education. And we don't see nothing in nature mixing with something that is not it. We don't see that. We don't. Where am I? But if these images are any preview, comma, it's definitely a year worth waiting for. We are then perhaps left with this rather unfortunate centerpiece of his statement. Quote, here's how the average American will look by the year 2050. Look at this shit. Look. See? But the problem with this, now, if that sister exists right now. She exists right now. You see? And if you get the right picture of Tyra from back in the day, that's Tyra. Forehead and all. That's Tyra Banks. I'm over it. But the problem is, Tyra is a sister who looks the way she looks. This would be an android, if you will. I'll introduce that term to this bullshit. And the androids are going to sound like this, and they're going to be flipping their hair, and everything's going to be amazing, and they won't have any sense of African culture, and they won't even know what that is, and everything's just wonderful, and they won't even know the white man's the devil. You see? I'm over it. This is biological genocide being promoted, you see? And genocide is genocide no matter if you're doing it to yourself or if somebody else is doing it to you. Genocide is genocide. In fact, let's look up the word genocide so that we can see that I'm using it in the right context in this. I don't want you to just take my word for it. Excuse me. I'll maybe edit that out, I don't know. But then a good burp might just wake up viewers, so we'll leave it in. Alright, let me pull this up. Genocide. A noun. The deliberate killing of a large group of people, especially those of a particular ethnic group or nation. Do you understand? This is the same. You don't have to kill somebody off by bloodshed or poisoning. You can kill them off with this interracial bullshit, everybody. I'm trying to help you understand the seriousness of what we're being faced with. You need to understand this. Because then when you're 15, 12, 10, 12, 13, 16, 17-year-old son is coming home from school tomorrow, I got a crush on Jennifer. So, and she's some white heifer. Then you beat his little ass into the fucking dirt and tell him to sat the fuck down and go and find Keisha. And put the fear of God in their ass. And when your daughter comes home tomorrow, I'm in love with Ryan. Is so cute. Ryan, you snatch her ass back. Do you understand? You snatch her ass back. Let's go a little deeper. Let's see what Wikipedia is going to say. If there's a little bit more of an expansion on this definition. Genocide is intentional action to destroy a people. I don't need to read any further. We're done. We're going back to the article. Not surprisingly, the net erupted in controversy / debate. Some standing by Some stand by and championing the purported beauty of race mixing as hope for a post-race future. Many others, because that all would have been all white devils. Many others, because they want to be free of this burden that they know they have, this responsibility, this debt they owe to African people, and first and then others, for all of the evil that they have done and continue to do to every culture of people on the damn earth. You see? The moment Barack Obama took the oath of office, we're in a post-racial America. No, because your white ass still exists, bitch. You still exist, so it's not post anything. Where'd you get post at? Show me that. I'm getting worked up, y'all. I'm getting worked up. Many others pointing out the absurdity of a multiracial, post-racial equation. That's me. Angrily accusing the article of privileging light-skinned mixes, thereby centering whiteness and upholding an age-old white devil-dominant race hierarchy. That's it. NPR blogger Gene Demby tweeted, "Don't know what to do with the fact that the idea will screw racism out of existence is considered a serious position." A day later, Gia somebody wrote a rebuttal on the Harpin in which she calls the piece dumb, shallow, she's probably a white bitch, we'll see, shortcut-minded, and charges it with appearing researched and progressive while actually eluding all of the underlying structural concerns that will always influence what race and attendant opportunity means in America far more than the distracting visual pleasure of a girl that looks like Rashida Jones. That was a sister. She too also unfortunately comes to rest again on this particular portrait. Look at this freckled, green-eyed future. Look at how beautiful it is to see everything diluted when we use everything diluted that we used to hate. And I'm sure that was sarcasm. Yeah, I'm over it. You see, and then you see, and then you have Serena Williams. You see, she just had her baby. Serena Williams is a dark-skinned sister, an Amazon, a Wakanda sister. Her and her sister, even their names sound like goddesses from, like, you know, mythological times or some shit. Venus and Serena. You just feel like a thunderclap of lightning and shit. And here she is with this white devil. And that baby, and she's from Compton, California, or South Central Los Angeles. They're from the hood, damn it. The hood. I think they're from Compton. I feel like it's Compton. That's rich African experience in this nation. Rich. Rich. And this child of hers will be something else. No connection. You see? Listen, everybody, here's the other reason why this is so important. Because remember, it's not like we are a people who have the privilege of knowing our fucking history. While we search for that, now we can't even be able to figure out who the fuck we are, is being added on top of that. You could see feeling maybe slightly different, but not so much. If we were people who we knew our entire lineage going back to the beginning of time. We knew our great, 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 and what they did and who they were and what their names were. You could feel slightly different. There'd just be a different smoke in the air. But we don't have that. And now you're going to try and put this shit on top of us? This is all the more reason why we have to reject this and fight the fuck back. We must discourage this bullshit the same way that in the black community we discourage homosexuality. We gotta discourage this shit has got to be seen as a fucking scourge. A scourge. Because at least with the gay people, they can't wash us out. Because you can't have no babies. You feel me? They could adopt or something like that, but they can't biologically have no damn kids. So, that's fine. So this is even worse than that. I suggest to you. I've been thinking a lot about the face, which, thanks to National Geographic and Policy Mike, is now flying around the World Wide Web. And why aren't they just saying the internet? And has become the stage for much heated race arguing. What is particularly striking to me, and what I have written on before, is that this person is an individual, is an actual living, breathing human being. But she is not being treated as such. You know what? That's in line with what I just told you when we saw the picture. I go, that person already exists. And then I gave you the example of Tyra. I feel like that's what they're saying here. Is that this person is an actual living, breathing human being. She's not being treated as such. She is being wielded as a tool, a device, maybe even a weapon. Her physical body is used as a site for others to play out their racial theorizing, while her own voice and story remain conspicuously absent. That's very true. What I think is incredibly important here, and doesn't seem to have come up in the ensuing disputes, is why portraits designed to quantify quality racialized appearances were taken with such intent in the first place. Photography which captures a person's image for the sole and express purpose of measuring, then discussing their supposed race is not new, and frankly, like pretty much everything race-related, has a long and insidious history. It's known as racial type photography, and it was popularized in the 19th century by white white pseudo-scientists to prove, in quotations, the superiority of some races, which is white devil, and the inferiority of African people. Anthropologists use photography to make anatomical comparisons, then racially classify and rank human subjects on an evolutionary scale, seeming to confirm that some peoples were less evolved than others and would therefore benefit from imperial control. I'm over it. Picture Imperfect Photography and Eugenics, 1879 to 1940 by Anne Maxwell. Oh my God. Wait, y'all. Where's my punch? I should probably take a teaspoon of olive oil or something. If it happens again, I'm going to give you some olive oil. One of first scientists, I think they meant one of the first scientists to use photography. Proofread your shit. Damn. One of the first scientists to use photography to record the anatomy of different races was Swiss-born white devil zoologist and anthropologist Louis somebody, who lived in America in 1865, was the nation's most celebrated naturalist. This devil, along with the help of portrait photographer another white devil, produced some of the earliest racial type photographers of African slaves to appear in the United States. He wanted to see if the distinct traits of African-born slaves survived in He wanted to see if the distinct traits of African-born slaves survived in American-born offspring. This would prove his theory that environmental factors wrought very few changes to the type, which by and large remained stable over time. In other words, to help you understand what we just read there, he's trying to see if just by being born here, would you be different? No, the fuck you wouldn't. So we would still look like our original African brothers and sisters that come here. There should be no difference in how they look and how we look. But due to the white devil, this is why we look the way we do now. And why we even sound the way we do. You feel me? Like, I wish to God I was on here with an accent like this, and I was reading and I'm telling you about this white devil because we have to do this and I can't do it. You see? You see? But I sound like this bullshit. This. My very voice testifies to the crime against our people. Do you understand me? Hear that. I'm over it. He staked his whole scientific career on the belief that the different races was created separately by God and in accordance with a divine preordained plan. Now that we love, everybody, because that's what I've said to you. Your melanated skin, the only people walking around there talking about we're all the same, we're just all the same, and no the fuck we're not. We're not. We're not. That's like you're sitting at Spago's and you're having like a $1,500 lunch or some shit, and some homeless person comes up and says, you know, we're the same. We're, you know, just like you're supposed to give them your money because you're just the same. And like, no, we're not the same. Like, okay, strike a homeless person, just like somebody that's not you. You got a stretch limo out front, you see what I'm saying? You're wearing Cartier, you're doing it all. And somebody's trying to say you're the same. No, we're not. Damn it. I have a stretch limo outside. You have a bicycle outside, or a Honda or some shit. Like, you are not. You see these false equivalents of this devil that I always tell you about. But this person was saying he staked his whole career on the belief that the races were different. And what have I told you? The Quran, God says to us, all mankind in the Quran, I have made you of many different tribes and nations that you may know one another. Not you're the damn same. And then he's backed that up by showing you all the varieties of trees, plants, birds, animals, and all the shit. Pay attention. Photographs of an enslaved woman in South Carolina by the White Devil. All right. Other influential examples of racial type photography include those produced by British anthropologist White Devil, somebody and another White Devil, who developed guidelines for the anthropological photographing of native subjects. Those produced in 1871 Germany by another White Devil, in ethnology and prehistory, which set out to assemble anthropological images from around the world, with the eventual purpose of disseminating these to scientific institutions in Germany and Britain. And those by Austrian photographer White Devil, among the best examples of photographs of colonized people taken under oppressive conditions. Of course, the overt, blatant racism in this older practice of racial type photography would not be acceptable today. But has the practice of photographing race then gone away completely? Has our need to scan and declare the racial appearance of others for the purpose of evaluation diminished? Apparently not. We now got National Geographic 2013 Endeavor, photographed by a White Devil through a racialized lens, no less. We also have Time magazine, infamous 1993 cover. See? And the new face of America. How immigrants are shaping the world's future multicultural society, which was the computer-generated face of a mixed-race woman created by merging people from various racial ethnic backgrounds, and who I have read her creators subsequently sort of fell in love with. We're over it. But they were focusing more on the immigrants, but still a composite of the new race. You see, and your ass is not represented anywhere. We must be over this, everybody. We must be. And we have Kip Somebody photo project of over 1,200 volunteers, subjects who self-identified as HAPA, meant to promote awareness, recognition, and give voice to the millions of multiracial, multi-ethnic individuals of Asian and Pacific Islander descent. No, they're gonna have to fucking pick one. You feel me? Listen, it's another construct of the White Devil, because you come from a certain location and you think you're something different. Fuck that. The Jamaican is us. You understand? Everybody in the fucking Caribbean is us, bitch. They are African spirit. The fucking, I don't care what your accent is. You're a fucking African. Period. Every goddamn Latino in this bitch is an Arab or a damn native person. Period. Because I can't tell Arab sometimes from a native. From a Latino. Pick one. You see? And the Chinese, the Japanese, and the Vietnamese, they are all one damn people. Period. If you can't tell what it is, then it must be the same thing as the thing that you know it is. That's like you walk a zebra up to me and I go, oh my God, it's a zebra. How nice. And they go, no, it's not a zebra. Like, what? The what? I'll punch you. I can't. I'm worked up now. Damn it, I'm worked up. Damn it. Though the White Devil is aware of racial type photographic history and acknowledges challenges in his book Half Asian, 100% HAPA, some feel his attempt to stand old forms on their heels doesn't work. He himself is a person of mixed race, Asian descent, and certainly being a person of color behind the camera lens, being a person of color behind the camera lends credence to the idea of reclamation and redefinition. Nevertheless, at the end of the day, we are still left with a collection of photographs meant to capture race in some formation. Well, you know, if he's Asian, I'm careful with this person of color. You see, I don't really, I can't. And then this caption says, what am I? Shouldn't you be asking my name first? Well, unfortunately it's come to that. And that's why I'm stressing this in this damn piece. That, fuck that. No, what are you? You see? Because I need to know how to relate to you. I need to know how to relate to you. Again, I have made you of many different tribes and nations that you may know one another. I'm not going to let you stand in front of me and you clearly don't look the fuck like me and you're clearly not me and I'm just supposed to act like we're exactly the same. Give me a damn break. What the fuck are you, bitch? What are you? Yes, what are you? You see? Because that tells me something about you. It tells me, because maybe you speak a different language. I need to know that. But also, it tells me something about your thinking, your life experience, and what your tendencies might be. I can draw an inference on you. You see? That's natural. That's natural. You're in the rainforest someplace and you see a tree with something hanging off it that you never saw. You go up to it, you want to know, what is it? It's not an orange, it's not a mango, it's not an apple, it's not a lemon, it's not anything that we've ever seen grown on a tree, but it looks like it's some kind of something you eat. You want to know what it is, so you know how to relate to that. Or is it even edible? Is this safe for me to even eat? You want to know that. So let's not act like those principles don't apply on this. Those same principles about who are you. You feel me? Because if that's the case, somebody comes to your door, knocks on your door, you never saw them in your life. First thing you do is say, who are you? Who are you? You're supposed to just go, oh, somebody knocked on my door, so I'm supposed to automatically just open the door and they can come in? No. Who are you? Who are you and why do you want entry to my house? What are you doing? Why are you here? Why should I care? Apparently now we are comfortable shifting the practice of race scanning and many of its same foundational values onto the ambiguous appearance of, quote, different looking people. Racism is incredibly adaptive. No, listen. Well, let's go on. Racism is incredibly adaptive and morphs to fit the times. I suggest that while modern race photography believes itself to be celebrating and dismantling of race, it may actually be fooling us. No. I'm going to tell you, it is fooling us. Not maybe. It is trying to fool us, and that's why I'm ringing the alarm. And itself with a fantastically complicated show of smoke and mirrors. What a critical mixed race view can offer at this juncture is something so crucial. We need to continually challenge and examine our desire to racially file people. Well, we wouldn't need to if we weren't mixing the shit up all the fucking time. If we just stick with what Allah created, we know who people are when we see them and hear them, period. So don't give me this self-righteous bullshit that, what was the language? We need to continually challenge and examine our desire to racially file people. Well, I'm filing, bitch. I got the entire cabinet out. I'm filing. You see what I'm saying? In alphabetical order. I'm over it. We need to lift our eyes from the ground to take off the rose-colored glasses. We need to put away the headphones, turn off the music, and turn on our ears. We need to make much, much more spaces for something ultimately pretty simple. The stories of actual people themselves, which in the end will paint the real picture. No, you see, they tried to tie it all into a nice little bow with a mint on your pillow at the end of it. Reject that, my people. Reject that. You see? Reject that. Damn it, reject it. Just tie it in a nice little bow. In other words, just let humanity just be, and you shouldn't be doing. No, fuck that. Because we are people who have been under constant attacks since 1619 in this bitch, and this is yet another attack, and we have to see it as such. We don't have the luxury of this bullshit they're trying to put forth in this damn article. We don't have that. Do you understand me? We don't have that. We must fight to keep our children looking like black children and not like this bullshit. Period. I'd be damned if I would be a father and my son does, or even my daughter, but particularly my son doesn't look like me. Not having it. Not having it. not having it. I need to tell you something else, you guys, too. I think this would be interesting to share with you. Give me a second, you guys. I'm going to turn on the air. I need to say this as we close. My nephew, the prince, his father was mixed race. His father was murdered when he was 3. But his father was mixed race. And, but if you saw his father, you would know that was still a black dude. Like, that's a brother, but he's clearly mixed. You know what I mean? They'd be like, yeah, he mixed, but he's a brother. We wouldn't reject him. You know what I mean? We wouldn't see him as not us, because he was us, you know? And you've seen how my nephew looks. He's clearly an African child, period. You see? So, because the gene in his father, that black gene was stronger, and then of course my sister is a black queen, so boom, there you go. You produce the prince. Done. So, I need to mention that because, you know, I've had, you know, these conversations with my nephew. Like, he understands that he is an African. Period. There's some white folks on your father's side over there, you see, but he doesn't really have a whole lot of interaction with them and contact and stuff. But that doesn't change the fact that they're still his, you know, he's from that. That's still family for him, you know, relatives and things. But I bring that because with that knowledge even, I'm still asserting for him and telling him and helping him to understand that you are an African child. Period. You are. Damn it. And that doesn't interfere with any of your in-laws and, you know, lineage and stuff like that. That can still be acknowledged. But you're an African. You're an African. Just like I live in this asshole of Satan, born on the south side of Chicago, but I'm still an African. That's still the land from which my people hail from. That's not a contradiction. That is consistency. I'll see you soon. This is the Jedi.